Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video, this is the second video in a series where I'm going to explain about some basic concept about Azure Cloud. So in this video, I'm going to cover how do we connect our on-premises SQL Server database to Azure storage. This is second video, so if you want to see the first video, then you can please find the link from the description. Okay, so yeah, so the first thing is like you log into your SQL Server Management Studio, which is like in your local machine or local environment. So yes, you can see here we have a for in this case, this is the server name, and then we have many database under that server. Suppose we want to focus on this particular database and we want to move this database to the Azure portal. Okay, so next thing is like you log into Azure portal. I hope and I assume that you have already uh, you are already familiar with this particular window. So you log into your Azure portal and uh, so now because what we are doing is we are moving the data from SQL Server Management Studio to the Azure, right? So either we should have the storage account, and if not, then we have to create the new one. Because this is the second video and first video we have already created the account, so I would assume that you already have. But if not, then it's very simple process. You just click on create resource. You select a storage account. Under storage account, you select create, and then you choose the key. You choose the resource group. You give it a name, and then that's how you create the storage account, right? And under that storage account you can select on the blob, and once you select blob then you can create the container. So from the last video I have already created this adf dash data. This time, because this is a different operation, we want to put the data in a different folder, so we can create another container under the same blob, and then we can give it a name on premise, whatever name you want to give without space. So you choose the name and then you click OK. So now what we have is so this is the typical architecture, typical conceptual diagram. So we have data on our local machine on local environment, and this data is right now, it can be in any format, it can be in flat file, it can be in any database form. So for example, like in this case, suppose we have this in SQL Server database, and then we want to move this data from here to this cloud. And, and basically, to be very specific, within the cloud, we want to move it to this blob storage. So this is the blob storage which we have already given a name. If you remember, we just created a storage account, and then we have created a container under that blob. So we have given a name here. We have the SQL Server management. We have the SQL Server data here. Now what we want to do is we want to connect this data, this database to this server, and then we want to move the data from here to here, right? And like I explained in my previous video, that Azure Data Factory is the one which is responsible to do such job. So what we need to do, the next thing is we need to create a data factory. So you collect a resource and then you create a new data factory. You give it a name, any name. So for simplicity, I just give the on-premises equal to Azure Data Factory. Then you select the resource group. Either you can create the new one or you can choose the existing one from the drop down, and then you can simply click on create. Once you create the data factory, then you click on author and monitor, and it will give you some options, some existing or services like create pipeline from template, or copy data. So that is what we are going to do this time, copy data. So you select copy data, and then it will again ask to name it. So you name the task, and then you click next. So now we have also what we have done so far is like we have given a name to the Azure storage, right? And then we have, now what we want to do is like we want to create a connection so that we can access the SQL Server data and then put the data to the cloud. We need to stabilize the connection because we don't have right now any connection, so we have to create a new connection. So if you click create new connection, then it will take you to another window where you can select the connection which you want. So for this case, we want to move data from SQL Server. We want to stabilize the connection so that it can connect to SQL Server. So you put SQL Server, you get SQL Server here, you click on that, and then this is the option you get. Because this is from your local environment, so you click on self-hosted, click on next, and then you have to give it a name. You choose the name you want to give, and then you will be provided by two options. Either you can go with the manual setup or you can go to the express setup. It is recommended to go with the express setup, and you just click here to launch the express setup for this computer. then then it will take care of the other things. This is how you see the progress. All the options should be right, and if it is this way, then you are on the right path. And then you give it a name, SQL Server linked service. And then if you remember, this is the local server name from my local computer. So you give the server name, and under that server name, because there were multiple database, so you can choose the database which you want. So I have chosen this database. You provide the username, password, and then you click on finish. So this is how you created a connection. You haven't done anything so far. We just created the connection between the local machine and the cloud. Okay, now if we want to access anything from Azure portal to the SQL Server, then we have to use this connection. So we just stabilize that bridge. So if we want to do anything, we want to use this one. So we click on SQL Server linked surface, and now what? Now it is giving all the tables within that database which we have chosen while creating the connection. So you choose, you see all the tables here. You can select all the tables, or you want to select the specific table, you can select. For example, like in this case, I have selected these two tables. You can see even the preview here, and then you select the tables, you click next, and then that's how it has taken care of the source. You have you have created the connection, you have selected the source. Now it is about the destination, because we had to tell it where we want to move our data. Again, so for that we need to create a connection here, and then from here we can choose, like last time we have chosen SQL Server, this time we can choose Blob, Azure Blob storage. So we click on Blob storage, and then again the same thing, we give the name, we give the basic things, right? We give the key, and then the storage name, like we are selecting the key and then we are giving the storage name. So that's how it knows, like, okay, we are pointing to this particular storage account. So it will show you, or it will show you all the folders within that storage account, right? So that's how you create it. So now we can see there are two connections. One is to connect with the local machine, and one is within this Azure. So you click on next, you select this, you click next, and now that's how we show you. This is from the old container, and this is the new container which we have created in this demo itself. So you select this new folder, and then you click next. Now it is asking you like where you want to choose your, you can choose your output file or folder. We have created this folder only, but if you want to create a subfolder, you can just put another name here. Like for example, like here I put from on-premise. So it's totally up to you. So you select here, and then you give the basic details here, and then these are the screenshots just so that you can follow. You click next, and then you can see the summary here. We have the SQL Server, we have the Azure Blob storage. We are moving the data from SQL Server to the Azure Blob storage. You click next, and then you will see these things in progress. And then once your deployment is complete, you can either you can click on monitor, and then you can see here as well. Like if you click on monitor, then you can see in progress, and after some time you can see when it is succeeded. So yeah, that's all. So guys, so this is just a simple example, very high level understanding of how you move your data from local SQL Server in local machine to cloud. Again, it cannot be, it may have a lot of like missing points, but it's just a little effort to give you a very high level understanding. But if you have any specific question, please feel free to comment it, and then I will be very happy to help you. Thank you so much.